everybody who tunes in today. For today's Where to Wednesday, we have the amazing David Hitt, part of the Shore Hitt team in LA with us. So exciting. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes. Hi, Erin. Thank you for inviting me to be on your Where to Wednesday series. My name's David Hitt. I am a local Keller Williams realtor here in Los Angeles, and I've been in the business 23 years, and I work with my business partner, Ronald Shore, who has been in the business 15 years. And we love what we do, and we're excited and appreciate you and our friendship.
Yes, no, same. Okay, listen, I know that we're on opposite coasts, but I also feel like it's kind of a little bit of opposite lifestyles. So what is it like? Tell me about LA, because I'm sure just like New York, it's not exactly what you see in the movies.
You know, you're correct. It's LA, Los Angeles is a very big place, and it's very spread out, as most everyone knows. And you do need a car to get around. But there are so many different neighborhoods and micro neighborhoods inside each area that are all very different and all have a different feel to them. And so there are different price points, as I'm sure you have there in New York. And, you know, if you want to, depends on if you want to live in be urban like you and live in the inner city, then there's downtown. If you want to be by the beach, there's Santa Monica, Marina del Rey, Venice. If you want to be in Beverly Hills, that's, you know, Hollywood Hills for luxury properties, in Bel Air, Hancock Park. It runs the gamut. And then the San Fernando Valley, which is more urban-y and a little more affordable along the Los Angeles pricing spectrum, home pricing spectrum.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of them. So the quintessential to me would be the beach lifestyle. I guess when I think about LA, I think of, you know, living on the beach, surfing every day. So what neighborhoods are those, and what are those price points like?
That's a good question. That would be the Los Angeles beach areas, Santa Monica, Marina del Rey, Venice. Those areas we're actually looking for a condominium for a buyer right now for up to 1.3 million, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1.3 million. It can go on up to 1.5 million, depending on how big it is and how close to the water it is as well.
So are you paying for views as well of the water, I'm sure? Like if you're facing the water, your price is going to be a lot different than if you're flipped the other way?
Totally. If you want to be facing the water, it's going to be a lot more. Add another 500,000 probably to the price tag, 300,000 to 500,000 if you want an ocean view.
Wow. Okay. And what are the lifestyles around the beach? Or is it really just that beach community lifestyle? Like is there a boardwalk you can walk around?
It's that typical beach lifestyle that you would imagine. There is a boardwalk, if you will, along the beach, Ocean Avenue, Santa Monica Promenade, 3rd Street Promenade, and also Palisades Park is along Ocean Avenue, and where a lot of people walk and do their exercises in the park and so forth with the big ocean view. And there's, you know, there's everything you can imagine in a village beach community. If you want more of the funky vibe along the beach, then it's Venice along the beach. If you want Santa Monica, you know, on the beach, those are multi-million-dollar homes. But then up above there is the bluff where Ocean Avenue is, and Palisades Park and the promenade.
Okay, so you really can get almost anything right there.
Yeah, you can. If you got the money, absolutely, by all means. I would love to live in Santa Monica or Marina del Rey and Venice are amazing.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So then if we're coming more into the inner city, is it, like we're a very tall city. I know that it's not quite as tall there, but do you have an area that is more like condos, walking type of area?
Yeah, there are, downtown Los Angeles is the closest to how New York's Manhattan would be. Um, that's a lot of, millennials and artistic and business professionals live down there, because it's very hip and cool now. There's a lot of great restaurants and great bars and amazing shopping. There's also, affluent areas that have a great village area to walk to, like West Hollywood. There's also Hancock Park, Larchmont Village. There is Culver City. There's a great shopping village area there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few little micro pockets in the areas of Los Angeles that have great, where you can move to and live. And if you don't want to get in the car to go do any shopping or go to a great restaurant, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So who's moving there? Who's moving to LA now? Is it people that are moving there because they want to be in that weather? Are people moving there because of jobs, lifestyle?
That's a very good question. It's a little bit of all of that. Right now, we're having younger folks, millennials, move here for either to go to a university or for job relocation. And some people are moving here for the weather. We had an older retired couple move here from Maryland, and their children are here, and they sold their home there that was, I don't know, $500,000, and it was 4,000 square feet, and to be in the sun and near their children. And they just closed on a 2,200 square feet home here for 1.7 million. So it's a little bit, there's, a little bit of all of that. There's a lot of entertainment industry people here. That's the biggest industry here. And then there's a lot of tech now in the last 5 to 7 years as well.
And do you find that a lot of the people in the entertainment industry actually live in LA, or are they more around it? In my mind, they're all in Malibu. I don't know.
If you have a few, 3 to 5 million, maybe $10 million to spend on a home and want an ocean view, Malibu is a great option. If you don't have 10 million, 5 to 10 million to spend on an ocean view, or maybe more, 15 to 20 million, you can, there's people in the entertainment industry from pre-production on up to the celebrities that star in the films, and everything in between. So people live in San Fernando Valley that are at one price point in income, and then others that maybe a studio executive could live in the Hollywood Hills, or maybe Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. If you're a celebrity, then you would move out to Malibu and maybe be in Bel Air behind gates, that kind of lifestyle.
Okay. And so I wish I remembered all the neighborhoods that I have friends. So a lot of my friends from here have all gone West Coast. I'm not very happy about it. I miss them all very much. But I mean, they just really love the lifestyle, the weather, the fact that they can walk within their communities. They don't necessarily have to drive. However, one thing that I was told, and I'm excited to get your take on this, is if you do move there for work, live where you work.
Yeah, I think it's very important I think particularly with COVID has helped me and a lot of people realize, to focus on what's important, and certainly time on the freeway and time in the car is a factor. And the less of that time that you have to spend in your car and on the freeway is best. So yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people that we get in the last year that are moving here, looking to relocate, say they want to be within a half an hour of their work, or they want to be no more than an hour away at most. So because the time in the car is, less time that you're spending on enjoying your life or enjoying your business. So that's
pretty
very
much
important. Yeah. In some cases, we're finding also, that we're finding that people are wanting that, but they only want to be no more than 20 or 30 minutes away from their work, but then their budget or price point doesn't allow for them to afford something in that vicinity. So we'll go over, some alternative ideas of areas and options to discuss, expanding their parameters a little bit to discover what other options are possible.
Is there like an epicenter for businesses?
That's a good question. Downtown Los Angeles, there are a lot of business offices and high rises. Century City as well has a lot of high rises and offices as well. And a lot of the tech companies have offices down in like Playa Vista and Westchester and Venice areas. So mostly downtown and Century City are where the bulk of the businesses tend to are congregated.
Okay, so if somebody was moving there for work to LA and they have like a middle range budget, where would you suggest they live? Like, what are a couple of neighborhoods where they wouldn't spend too much time in the car, but they would still enjoy their lifestyle? Maybe it's a bit more active.
So as far as when you ask for clarification on what price point are you referring to or thinking that budget
I would say like that average price point. What's the average price point for LA?
Average price point is anywhere from 900,000. Let's talk about where our office is in Los Feliz. The median price is 1.2, 1.3 million. And so there's in Los Feliz, we're next to Griffith Park and near the observatory, the Griffith Park Observatory, next to Hollywood, and 10 minutes away from downtown. So to get a home there, you're looking at in the high 1.7, 1.8 and above. Yeah, maybe 2 to 3 million to get a really nice home. You can be up in the hills with a view of the city, or if you choose to be more in the flats, there's a lot of character homes there, Spanish, Mediterranean, some mid-century as well. So that's more of an inner city hills view, sort of affluent area. If you want to be near where it's all happening, then maybe a condominium you can find between 700,000 to $1 million in that area too.
Do a lot of people invest in that area? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. There's a lag in the sound.
Oh no.
A lot of people, move there that want to be near Silver Lake and Los Feliz because of the hip, artsy vibe, that are creatives, that a lot of alternative hipsters will be there as well. We have a lot of doctors that live in the area, and also studio people. So yes, that's kind of the typical gamut there. Our office is right near Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, and Kaiser Hospital. And so we get a lot of medical relocations that move to the area too, because they want to be near the hospitals.
Okay. So it seems like people could invest, and if they were going to, that's probably a good place to get a condo or something.
Yes, yes. And
Awesome.
if they want to, a lot of times we were the relocation specialist for Kaiser for a couple of years, the big medical center there. And
Yeah.
Half the time the people, the doctors or medical professionals would come and rent for 6 months to a year to make sure that they kind of get a feel for what neighborhoods they like and want to be in, and then they will end up buying at that point down the road, particularly if they're not from here originally.
Well, we have a comment about Hollywood. Thank you, John. So tell us about Hollywood. That's actually a great neighborhood to talk about.
Hollywood is right next door to Los Feliz, and Hollywood is a mixed bag. There's the Hollywood Boulevard area that you see in films and movies. That's all the touristy areas that you can go to. 10 years ago, Hollywood was not a great place. It was very edgy. They've poured a lot of money into the, Hollywood Boulevard area, and there's a lot more great kind of hipster living and new luxury apartments that are all built around there, and restaurants. So it is become very hip and cool to also live into Hollywood now. You've also got the hills where if you again, like Los Feliz, if you want to be in the Hollywood Hills and up and away from the inner city and more secluded, where there's hiking and Mulholland. But then there's also the flats that are more urban-y.
Got it. Well, I don't want to start something too much, but we have a gentleman, Will Brown, that has asked a couple times about the homeless situation in the area. And we don't need to get into that too much, but maybe just, do you feel like it's having any effect on prices in certain neighborhoods?
I don't know that that's the case. Los Angeles does have a bad homeless problem, and we probably
as does New York right now.
Okay, well, we probably have one of the largest number of homeless populations in the country, but I don't see it affecting price. But I will say that it is, you want to drive around in the areas that you want to live in, and at different times of the day, to see what the vibe is and how what you think, and how because it's important to feel safe and in an area that you're going to buy in. And so that's what we suggest to people. But it's a problem, and but as far as people relocating here, there are areas, you just need to find a part of Hollywood that's up and away from that, and it's there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what, it's so true too, because I like to tell people that safety may not mean the same thing to me as it does to you. So as you said, make sure that you go around in different times of the day and just see what it's like. Yeah,
because who's going to be coming and going during the day or in the morning, and at night? It's all different. So that's what we suggest, because my idea of safety may not be the same as yours, and so on. So is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Very well. So are there any trends that you're seeing right now in California or in LA specifically?
There has been, in the last 5 to 10 years, we've been seeing, there's no vacant land here in the city to speak of, really. It's pretty well
Mhm.
developed. So there's not a lot of new construction per se. So we're seeing, as I'm sure you are maybe in New York and the outlying areas, they're taking older homes and tearing them down, and or maybe leave one wall and they're rebuilding them into a newer structure. We're
Mhm.
been seeing a lot of that in the last 5 to 10 years. And um, for example, and also Hollywood downtown, we're seeing them take down older shopping malls or older buildings to build new like live work kind of spaces where
Yeah.
there's retail in the bottom, and then maybe there's condos above, or
Mhm.
there's retail and restaurants below, but then there's lofts downtown. There's a lot of lofts. There's loft spaces above. So we're seeing a lot of that in the last 5 to 10 years as a trend.
Very cool. All right. So talk about one of my favorite things, the luxury market. So where does it really start to get into luxury there? What do you see in these homes? Tell me all about it.
Well, it's all about lifestyle and what you're looking for and what your goals are. You know, so when we sit down with people for a buyer consultation, we ask them, you know, about areas, and if they want luxury, what does luxury mean to them? And then we go into, you know, we first will also make sure that find out if they're paying cash or if they're going to get financing. We want to get that established so we know what price point we're looking at. And then we can, you know, go from there as far as if they want to be, you know, near walking to restaurants and shopping, or do they want to be near the ocean, or do they want to be in the hills, or do they want to be in the inner city? Once we determine that, then we'll go into, you know, what the luxury options are in the various parts of Los Angeles. And luxury is sitting on the market longer now. I think the average days on market is probably 4 to 5 months right now. Through 2.5 to 3 million, 5 million and above is sitting on the market a little bit, and we're seeing, you know, price reductions too. So if you are in the luxury price point, now is a good time to buy a property here because prices are coming down and things are sitting somewhat 3 million and above.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting to hear because it's, in my mind, I guess I always thought luxury was either right on the beach or up in the hills with some beautiful view. But it seems like each neighborhood maybe has their own type of luxury properties.
Exactly. And that's why I mentioned that, you know, first we want to find out what price point we're looking at, and then ask them about questions about what's important to them as far as the areas are concerned. And then we can talk about what the luxury options are, because they run the gamut here in Los Angeles. As I mentioned to you, it's all spread out, as you know. So
Mm-hmm. Are there any gated communities in Los Angeles?
there are some gated communities.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. Not a ton of them, but there are some. Uh, there's they some of them are newer construction. Some of them have been around for a while. The biggest one that comes to mind is probably Mountain Gate on
Mm-hmm.
near the Getty Museum and sort of the West Los Angeles area, near the west of the 405
Okay.
freeway. Mm-hmm.
I've
And
heard of that because I feel like,
that's 3
yeah,
million, 5 million, $10 million homes up way above the city with an amazing view.
yeah. And in the communities, is it just homes or do they ever have like their convenience stores and grocery stores within the communities?
You know, occasionally, like in Bel Air, there is a little village area up in the hills there where
Mm-hmm.
there's, you know, a little shopping mall and some coffee and a couple of small restaurants and maybe a convenience store.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
like its own little community. Obviously, we don't have any gated communities here in Manhattan, but I'm always so intrigued by them. I'm like, it would be such a fun world if there's everything there and you just kind of, like us with our little neighborhoods, right? Like we don't have to leave a 10-block radius if we don't want to.
Yes, yes. It's a different world.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so first of all, everybody, I will have David's information here for you to reach out if you have any questions about LA or you think about moving out there. I have to tell you, I put some people that I care very greatly about in his hands, and they've all been very happy. There is a reason why David and Ron and Hitt, they've been, I think, the #1 referred team in Keller Williams for, I don't know, forever, because they do such an amazing job. You'll always be in good hands. But before I let you go, is there anything else that we should know about LA?
You know that, you know, if you want sunshine and beaches and you want to have many different options of landscape in front of you, no more than an hour or two away, Los Angeles is an amazing place to live. And I love it, and I don't know that I would want to live anywhere else. And so I'm a happy Angelino, and I just love and appreciate you, Erin. You are one of my favorite Keller Williams people, and you have such a kind heart and loving spirit, and I'm so proud that you're a friend of ours and a referral partner. Thank you for I'm getting a little teary-eyed. Thank you for your friendship and support.
Oh, no, thank you so much. All right. Thank you, David. All right. Well, we will say goodbye to you, Facebook world. And I'm